Irishman Pascal Phelan thought he was coming to South Africa to retire and have the good life, and now he's about to build one of the biggest solar PV farms in South Africa and even Europe and Africa. So how did this all happen? I mean, you were on a game farm and suddenly it all changed.
Well, in a way, I retired to South Africa about 12 years ago, and the main influencing factor, ironically, was the weather and the sunshine. And as any Irishman, we like a bit of land, so I bought a game farm out past Ceres in the Karoo. And years after being there, one of the people on the farm brought me a brochure from Eskom that stuck in the gate to say they wanted to expand their substation locally. And I had seen the level of sun and wind that we've had in the Karoo for the previous few years, and I decided I'll talk to them and maybe we can harness some of it. And that got me into the energy business. And then wind seemed the obvious choice. But then I discovered solar photovoltaic, where you point a panel at the sun and you get energy, electricity out the back with no moving parts. And I became a fan.
It feels like anyone can just go into the energy industry now. I mean, nuclear, you have to be a trained nuclear physician, and coal and all these other energy types, people are highly trained engineers. With renewables, it feels like people just get inspired one day and suddenly it's accessible. What's going on?
Well, I call the photovoltaic solar business Legoland. If you can work out how to make a megawatt, you just plug another set of megawatts together and the sky is the limit in terms of volume. And what's happened worldwide, in fact, is that the big old electrical utilities, they've all failed at it because they're not nimble enough. It's an entrepreneur's business, and you have to be quick and fast on your feet, focus on low cost, focus on efficiency, and don't spend too much time thinking about it.
The Minister of Energy in South Africa is very passionate about renewables. You've engaged with the department. What is your thoughts?
Oh, the Department of Energy and the IPP office are world leaders in renewable. We have a constant stream of overseas delegations, one last week from Abu Dhabi, coming to South Africa to see what has been achieved and how they have achieved it. And everyone likes to criticize the politicians, but this is a program that South Africa can be absolutely proud of. And it's taken vision and dedication of a minister to drive it forward, because nothing happens unless somebody drives it forward. And it's not just the solar energy, but there are programs built into that to force people like us to do social economic development locally, to run programs, and those are being as successful in many ways as the solar energy generation.
So how is your solar farm going to contribute to South Africa from an economic point of view and from an energy point of view?
Well, from an energy point of view, on the 17th of March, ironically St. Patrick's Day, we will connect 175 megawatts, which will make it among the largest plants in the world, to the grid in South Africa. That will provide electricity for 175,000 homes. To build this park, we employed at peak 2,000 individuals, and we will continue to employ people now for operation and maintenance ongoing. As for the town of De Aar where it's built, it's absolutely transformed the town. When we arrived there, there were bushes blowing through the streets. It was really non-operational as an economic entity. Now it's becoming a vibrant town. So not only have we got electricity, but we have recreated all over the Northern Cape with this program, vibrant towns.
And so, what do your friends back home in Ireland think of you and your new job as a solar energy man?
Well, when I came to South Africa first, frankly, they all thought I was a bit crazy. Now everybody wants to come on holidays, and all of a sudden, everybody in Ireland associates South Africa with sunshine.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
And in terms of the whole energy mix in South Africa, a lot of people criticize renewables for not being base load, not being peak energy. Do you have any thoughts on this topic?
The mix is constantly changing. And the focus has to be on the average cost of electricity. It is that cost of electricity that is core to the cost of manufacturing, which is core to the cost of job creation. And for me, job creation is the number 1, 2, and 3 problem in South Africa, and we have to address that. We've come from a situation now where we have the cost of new energy from Medupi and Kusile is approximately 3 times the cost of solar, and it's growing. And I joke with my colleagues in the office that when the true price of electricity of Kusile and Medupi comes out, there'll be a call for the reintroduction of capital punishment in South Africa. It is that outrageous in terms of what it is going to be. So the mix has to be constantly examined. Nuclear is very much in the news at the moment in terms, and that is a genuine element of mix, but it has to compete with all of the other energy sources. And now that has been given to the IPP office, we'll have an open and frank discussion on what is the cost of nuclear. But if we look at the cost of nuclear in the UK, the cost of nuclear in the UK is over £2 in the Hinkley Point power station, which is now probably not going to go ahead. The cost of solar energy is under 70 cents. So the comparatives are not there. Yes, we need base load. We have base load in Koeberg at the moment, and we're going to certainly have base load in the new coal plants. So it's a shootout. Who is able to offer the best value energy for South Africa? And it's not about the value of the energy, it's about the impact on manufacturing and the competitiveness of job creation in South Africa.
And of course, there's also the gas element that's also coming into the fore at the moment.
Yes, the gas element is coming to the fore, and it's part of the same mix. And I think it's interesting that Namibia have had a Kudu project for about 800 megawatts of gas going on for about 3 to 4 years. They've just discontinued it on the basis that they cannot bring the gas competitively from offshore into the country. Right, so the people miss how much the cost of energy has come down. Solar panels 7 years ago were $7. Now they're 40 cents, right? And that's the same solar panel who is producing more energy than it did 7 years ago. So the comparative is wind under about 60 cents, solar under 70 cents, and everything else in the multiples of rand. So it's simply it's a calculation. Who can compete to create the proper mix?
So in other words, renewables have challenged the dominant energy sector to get its house in order and to become more competitive.
No, the new discussion is renewables is the future of energy. How do we fit in the old dominant sector into it? It's no longer how do we fit into the dominant sector. These guys, the race is over. They've lost heavily. Now we have legacy plants, we have legacy investments, and it's got to be how can we best fit those into the new renewable, green, sustainable world that we're in.
Well, you've got the energy. Good luck.
Thank you very much.